No water spouts in the forecast. In fact, look at that. The Williams Tower has almost completely disappeared. That building, 64 stories, just over 900 feet. And you can see that the entire building is almost completely obscured. So those ceilings are very, very low, really not much more than about 20 floors up, and you're up in the clouds. So the bottom line is, despite the low cloud cover, it's still going to be a very nice evening out there. Cool as well. Temperatures in the 50s for a lot of us up to the north. Mother's Day looking very lovely. And looks like more rain in the forecast next week. 67 degrees right now up in Conroe. Already 61 degrees in College Station and in Brenham. 67 degrees in Tomball, 72 at Hobby, and 73 degrees down there on Galveston Island. Now, if you look carefully, you see the wind coming in from the north, kind of turning in from the southwest, and then coming back around. That is an area of high pressure that has settled in right over the top of its little mesoscale high, basically a small scale high pressure system. And that's going to keep things relatively cool and relatively nice as we head into your Mother's Day. In fact, take a look at the radar. Not a whole lot going on this evening. What appears to be maybe a few scattered sprinkles out there to the north of Conroe, but the bulk of it is well to the east now. I'm pushing into Mississippi and Alabama. Atlanta is just getting in on the heavy rain this evening, but for us, it is nice and quiet for the most part across the state of Texas. It's cool though, 55. Got double nickels there in Abilene, 54 degrees in Amarillo, 62 in Dallas. They didn't make it out of the mid-60s yesterday or today, and they didn't make it out of the mid-50s yesterday. If you can believe that, 70 degrees still here in Houston. So take a look at the forecast. Starting off this evening, if we go into Sunday, not a whole lot going on tomorrow, but as we get into Monday and then into Tuesday, this takes us into 4 o'clock on Tuesday. You'll notice our next disturbance, bringing our next round of rain into the upper Texas coast. That's going to last into Wednesday as well. So keep those umbrellas handy. Don't put them away yet. You're going to need them for Tuesday and Wednesday, it looks like. But until then, I think we will see a few peaks of sun. In fact, we'll see a lot of sunshine heading into your Sunday. Take a look at the forecast computer model. You saw it there. Didn't really have a whole lot on it to write home about, so we'll go ahead and bypass that. As far as the rainfall goes, this takes us through Wednesday at 10 o'clock. You'll notice another 1 to 2 inches of rain, not out of the question getting into the middle part of next week, but certainly not shaping up to be a flood event whatsoever. Just a good old-fashioned rainy day for Tuesday and Wednesday. So as far as temperatures go, starting off in the upper 50s and lower 60s, quickly warming up to those mid-70s by tomorrow afternoon. 75 degrees at Bush, 77 for our friends in Pearland, 75 on the island, and 73 degrees in El Campo, warming up into those low to mid-80s tomorrow. I think 82, 83, maybe even 84 degrees looks to be a pretty good bet. Before those temperatures begin to cool back down, this is 10 o'clock tomorrow evening. Look at that, already back into the low to mid-60s out there towards College Station and Brenham. So for your Sunday, 62 degrees here in Houston, 50s once you get up towards Conroe, Huntsville, College Station, 78 degrees by the noon hour, 84 degrees heading into the 4 o'clock, all under partly cloudy skies. For tomorrow again, 84 degrees, 20% chance of a few scattered sprinkles on Monday, 50% chance there Tuesday into Wednesday, drying it out Thursday, Friday, heading into next weekend more importantly, but you'll notice those temperatures getting mighty close to 90 degrees once again. So as we get deeper into May, we're going to say goodbye to those 80s, Ron, and it won't be long before 90s decorate that 7-day.
We know what that's all about. All right, thank you so much.